Today I'm going to show you how you can use a brand new product called a KX Flex, which is a fast setting semi-rigid casting resin. This product will let you quickly make props that are ready to demold and handle in minutes. So if you have a production line and you need to cast dozens and dozens of props, this product is going to allow you to cast and then demold within 20 minutes in order to get a new casting going. Now, our project here is going to be this crowbar. As you can see, this is a long and thin casting, so it does not hold its shape very well. And if you're not desiring props that are very flexible, yet will go back to their original shape, you can always embed a reinforcement in your casting. So here we have the 90 durometer, that was the 60, or you can go with a rigid glass fiber rod that will make your casting nice and stiff, stay in shape, or you can embed something like aluminum wire and have your props be bendable and stay in the shape that you bend them into. Now, let's just jump into this project and see how we do some of these castings. So here are some of our basic armatures that we use for props and whenever we do castings that need support. Now, a lot of people like to use wood dowel rods in these castings, but as you can see here, they're actually very brittle and can break easily, so I tend to stay away from them. First off, we have the fiberglass rods. We got these online. These are used usually to mark terrain, so in your yard or to mark the driveway when the snow falls. And these are great because they're super strong. They're almost indestructible. They're very strong, semi-bendable, so they will have a little bit of flex. And as you can see here, the black one we painted for the purpose of the casting that it's going into. So always paint the armatures with the color that your casting is going to be. That way, if they touch the side of your casting, they're not going to be really visible or noticeable. Click on the link above if you want to see another video where we use these glass fiber rods to reinforce our rigid foam props. Like I said, these are awesome for props and any kind of cosplay making where the pieces of the costume have to be extremely rigid but are super strong and very thin in diameter. Then we have the aluminum wire. This is one that I like and prefer when I need to do bendable props, something that you can bend and it will stay in shape. And you got a lot of options on the armature wire. They come in different gauges. The thicker the wire, the stronger, the less bendable it's going to be. The thinner the wire, the more flexible your prop is going to be that you put this wire in. Now, these are readily used in cosplay application where you need to make all kinds of weird things that are sticking out but are flexible and you don't want to break. People will use armature wire like this. Also swords, when you see those long swords that are very thin, they would use something like the glass fiber rods inside of them so they don't actually break. Now, because the aluminum armature inside our prop is very strong and durable, yet bendable and flexible, our prop is going to have a prolonged life and as many years of using without having to worry about the actual armature inside breaking down. Now, like I mentioned, I personally like to paint the armature that's going inside the casting with the same color that I'm casting the prop in. Again, if by any chance it touches the side of your prop, you will not notice it in the final piece. So here we have the long crowbar, that's aluminum wire, and then the shorter one, that's a glass fiber rod. So we're going to just go ahead and close our mold. This is a two-part platinum silicone mold made out of the MoldStar 20T. T stands for translucent, and that's why you see that milky white color. So we're going to close that mold, and then we're going to clamp it using some clamps. And once we have that ready, we're pretty much ready for the casting process. Now, like I mentioned, we're going to be using a new product for this project. This is the KX Flex 90. This material was specifically developed for the prop and movie industry. But whenever you're working with a new product, always check out the technical bulletin. And here you can see that its mix ratio is 100A to 120B. So we do need to use an accurate gram scale. Now, this product does have a short pot life. Your working time is 2.5 minutes. So from the time that you combine the materials A and B together, you have 2.5 minutes to mix it thoroughly and get it inside your mold. The handling time is 20 minutes, so you can pull the casting out of your mold in 20 minutes and start prepping it, cleaning it, and a full cure is achieved after 24 hours. So full stiffness will be after 24 hours. Whether you decide to hand mix or mechanically mix the material, keep in mind that in the 2.5 minutes you have to mix the two products together thoroughly and then get it inside your mold before that 2.5 minute is up. Now we can go ahead and premix our part B as the instructions say. You want to scrape the sides and scrape the bottom. If you notice there is settlement at the bottom, you want to make sure you break that up thoroughly before dispensing. And then we can go ahead and dispense our part B. This is 120 B to 100A. So again, a gram scale is necessary. And a couple of drops of the So Strong Black will get our casting to a color that we want. Keep in mind that the KX Flex has a milky white consistency, so it's very easy to pigment using our So Strong pigments. The part A is dispensed, also using the gram scale, and then we can combine the two together. As always, make sure you scrape your containers, even when you're scraping the part A or B into your mixing vessel. You don't want to lose a lot of material. And then we can scrape the sides, scrape the bottom thoroughly. Again, keep in mind a 3-minute pot life is very short, so we want to be thorough with the mixing process, but we also want to be fast. So here again, you can see me scraping the sides, scraping the bottom, swirling the whole thing around, and then we're pretty much ready to pour the material into our mold. Now, I had to set up the mold in front of my workstation because it's such a large mold, so you guys actually can see, and we're going to get that material in there. And one thing I like to do with these molds is burping them, so to say. So you want to rock the mold a little bit back and forth to allow any air to come out of the mold. Air bubbles will get trapped. And what this does, it basically allows the air to go upward towards an opening. And then we're going to top off the mold with the rest of the material. Now the material is allowed at least 20 minutes for a handling time, and we can pull it out of the mold in 20 minutes. And then the full cure is going to be achieved in 24 hours. Now, it's been 20 minutes since we casted these crowbars, and the castings are ready to be handled. So the material is set up enough that we can demold the castings. And what makes this perfect is that the softer material makes it a lot easier to cut those sprues, the vents, clean off any of the flashing on the castings. And then if we wanted to allow this a full cure, we can either set it back in its mold and allow it a full cure there, or post-cure if you want to do that, or we can just set it up in a jig that's going to keep its shape and allow it a full cure that way. It's a good procedure to allow the castings a full cure for 24 hours before actually manipulating, bending, twisting them, and changing their shape. That way you're allowing the material to set in its true form that it's meant and casted in. The cleanup here is very simple. I'm simply scraping the razor blade across the edges where a little bit of the material leaked out. And here again, you can see that with the right choice of the armature insert, you can make your props say and do so much more. So here again, the bendable crowbar, and then we also have the rigid one. Very durable and very long lasting. You can even go as far as twisting them into a pretzel if you don't use any armature at all. Now, if you got inspired by this project and you'd like to give your own projects a go and need some material, you can visit any one of our distributors around the world. So, and there you have it, a step-by-step procedure that I use to create these props using the KX Flex. Now remember, if you're wanting to make props that are soft and bendable, or props that are hard and rigid, yet very durable, or if you're simply going for the special effects, make sure that you understand the material that you're working with and the technique that you employ to achieve your goal. Now, if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you have an idea about what we should do next, let us know down in the comments below. And as always, to keep up with our latest mold making and casting videos, remember to subscribe. Subscribe now. You better subscribe.